You don't know everything about me. I've lived a lot of lives. Before I was an Avenger. Before I got this family. I made mistakes. Choosing between what the world wants you to be and who you are.
Scarlett, I never got to talk to you after the events of Endgame. I never got to interview you after that movie. And I was wondering, just from just emotionally, what it was like to film that death scene specifically. What you remember about that day with Renner and kind of like shooting that scene specifically, and kind of what it meant for you emotionally to kind of film that scene.
Well, there was a couple of different versions of that. And they actually originally shot a really long fight sequence. It was, I mean, we shot it over weeks of time, where we were being pursued, and then the two of us had like our kind of narrative between us, but then there were all these kind of outside things that we were then fighting against. When the film was being cut together, before we went in for additional photography, Joe and Anthony called up and they were like, it's just like, we feel like we know what we're like anticipating this thing. And we just feel like it would be so much more impactful if it was like much quicker, and, kind of took us all by surprise. Like, we think that the impact of that so we had to shoot it a couple of times. When we shot what made it into the final cut, it had that feeling for us, I think, on set too. It just felt so urgent, like it was something that the character just like had to do. And it was much more about the emotional, exchange between Clint and Natasha, and just these basically just two friends who love each other. And that's where that gesture comes out of, just comes out of like pure love for, another person. It was really intense. It was really, really sad.
My favorite thing about this movie is the grounded emotion, the connection both of your characters have, but specifically the song, the American Pie song that kind of goes from the beginning of the childhood towards the end, and how that kind of reveals itself. I was going to ask each of you, is there a song in your own life that meant a lot to you as a kid growing up that it even means a lot to you now as well?
I'm from New York, and so the Sinatra, New York song, it means like it has so many. It brings back so many memories for me of like being at a Yankees game, or, celebrating. Anytime you celebrate in New York, that song comes on. If you're at any bar and somebody's birthday or after New Year's, it's just playing at any celebratory thing.
Actually, American Pie, we would all dance to when we were younger. So funnily enough, my dad would put it on when we were all needing to have a little, like a spice up dance. So that scene was actually quite wonderful because it was very similar to what my dad does. That and Yellow Submarine, because us as kids would love it. My dad would put it on as we were doing a car journey. My mum would hate it because we'd play it all the time. So it would go on and we'd be like, yay! And my dad would be like, yay! And my mum would be like, please turn it off. We have heard this all the time in the last car journey.